What were you struggling with the most, and for how long before you worked with us?
Yeah, so I mean, I would say we were evaluating outsourcing the investor pitch deck specifically for probably, I don't know, 8 weeks before we actually started reaching out for proposals and bids from various vendors. And I think what we were really struggling with was I have a full-time job. My husband also and business partner has a full-time job. And so we were struggling to carve out the time to really put thought into what would be a really impactful investor pitch deck, which would obviously then inform not only going to investors for funding, but also a lot of our sales activities and how we're sort of approaching customers with our product portfolio. So it was certainly, probably again, a couple months where we were sort of weighing the pros and cons of outsourcing it, and obviously decided to partner up with you all. And we're absolutely thrilled with the output, but I know we're going to get to that in further questions.
What was your biggest hesitation before buying our services?
I mean, I think much like anything else, it's cost, right? And I think that when we were looking at various proposals, we were weighing sort of the cost benefit ratio. And ultimately, where we landed was it was well worth the investment simply for a number of reasons. But the first of which was that time commitment that I mentioned a second ago, being able to carve out and find the time to put together a very impactful investor pitch deck. We just weren't able to find the time in our schedules to do so. And then also, it's not really our wheelhouse. It's not our area of expertise. And so when we really started to talk about it, we realized it would be very money well spent to go to a group of individuals like yourself who do this day in and day out. And it's really their expertise, and they know where to go to find the market research. They know how to synthesize that market research and then build a story around it that makes sense and is really impactful to an investor community. So once we sort of got over that initial hurdle of realizing we couldn't lift this on ourselves, then the cost that we were willing to pay for it really pulled into focus, and it made a lot of sense for us to pull the trigger. What I think there were many things that were impressive throughout the process, but one of them for me was you and Joseph needed very little direction from us and very little, it was a very small time commitment for my business partner, Ryan, and I on the front end. And the output was incredible considering how little time you needed from us to understand our product and then go out and find relevant market research that, again, told a really impactful story from a solution and benefit and problem standpoint. So yes, we for any future needs we'll be calling you first.
When did you know you've made the right choice to work with us?
Yeah, I think, again, going back to what I just said, that first discovery call that we had, it was really clear that you are consummate professionals. You do this routinely, and you do it successfully. Like I said, we did go out to bid for this project, and we had a number of discovery calls before we had the one with you. And it was a night and day difference between the approach. And we felt like you really understood what we were trying to accomplish. You understood very quickly the problem we were trying to solve for. And then you also understood our particular product really well. And so it was just really impressive how quickly you guys kind of picked the ball up and ran with it. We did not get that impression from some of the other individuals and groups that we sort of were assessing through that whole proposal process.
What would you say to someone considering our services?
Yeah, so I would say it's an absolute no-brainer, and you shouldn't wait any longer to get going. Again, the process was extremely smooth. It was very quick, but yet the end output and the quality of that end output was top-notch, even though it was a really quick and seamless process. Sometimes when you speed things up, the output on the back end is lacking as a result, and that absolutely was not the case. And so I would say, don't belabor the decision, just move forward. It's well worth the investment. Obviously, it remains to be seen how this is going to land in front of actual investors, but we feel really confident in the story that we're able to tell and the problems we're solving for. And it's all backed by the market research that you and your team did. And so I would say don't hesitate, move forward. I did show the investor pitch deck to a couple individuals who will ultimately be on the advisory board or board of directors for our organization. They were extremely impressed with it. They asked me where I got it. And so it's already landing with people. The design of the slides, the content of the slides, the flow of the slides, people are very impressed with it when they see it. So.